Hello students, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I'm your English teacher. Today we're going to learn prepositions, chapter 10 from your English grammar textbook. Get cracking. A group of children are playing Chinese whisper, where each child is whispering a phrase into the next one's ears. Read what they said and fill in the blanks. Choose the correct word from the brackets. First child, there is a bird. Second child, the bird is in the sky. Third child, there is a dog. The dog is on the sofa. Fifth child, there is a boy. Fifth child, the boy is in blue jeans. Simple prepositions. The prepositions in, on, off, at, behind, and so on are one-word prepositions. They are called simple prepositions. Examples: there is a cafe at the corner of the street. I didn't come by bus, I came on foot. Prepositions of time: at, on, in. We use at with clock time or meal time, at 6 o'clock, at 4:45, at lunch time. We use on plus day/date on Monday, on 6th March, on Christmas, on New Year's Day. But we say at Christmas holiday period of 2 or 3 days, at the weekend. We use int with longer periods as months, years, seasons. In 1995, in June, in winter. In the 20th century, we use in with a part of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, but we say at night. We say on with a part of the day plus day/date on Sunday morning, on Friday evening, on the afternoon of 10th. Omissions of at, on, in. We do not normally use at, on, or in before time phrases beginning with last, next, this, or every. I received a letter last Tuesday. I will see you again next month. Are you free this afternoon? Peter came last Christmas. We go to Bengaluru every summer. Prepositions of place: at, in, on. Rule 1. We use at to talk about a position, a point in space. Examples: there is an old man at the gate. They were waiting at the bus stop. Turn left at the traffic light / at the next corner. Events or group activities. Examples: was Radha at the party? I saw David at a tennis match. There weren't many people at the meeting. Shops or workplaces. Examples: I saw him at the baker's shop, at the supermarket. He is at the doctor's. A person's house or flat. Example: I had tea at Anand's house / flat. An exact address. Examples: he lives at 43 Ambedkar Street. Are you still at the same address? Rule 2. We use in when we see something as having volume or area. Examples: mother is in the kitchen. I had 30 rupees in my pocket. The children were in the park. We often use at with a building when we are thinking of the activity that happens there. We use in when we mean inside the building. Examples: we were at the cinema last night. We were watching a film. It was very cold in the cinema, inside the cinema. number 4. We use int with cities, towns and villages when we are thinking of them as places having length and breadth. We normally use at when we see the city, town or village as a point on a journey. Examples: we stayed in London for 2 days. Our plane stopped at London on the way to New York. They lived in Raipur. Thus this train stopped at Raipur station. Rule number 5. We use in to talk about a road or a street. In American English, owned is used. Example: the Mehters lived in Museum Road / Tilak Street. Fill in the blanks with suitable simple prepositions. I had a cup of coffee at Mary's house. There was a man sitting in the waiting room. The map is on page 48. Write your name at the top of the page. The Prime Minister spoke to the nation on the television. Prepositions of travel. Rule 1. We use by plus noun to say how somebody travels. We do not use the / a. Did you come by train or bus? We say by bike, by car / road, by taxi, by bus, by train / rail, by ship / boat, by sea, by plane / air, and so on. Rule 2. We cannot use by when we talk about a specific bike, car, and so on. Examples: I will go on my bike, not by my bike. He came in Mr. Burma's car, not by Mr. Burma's car. We travel on the 8:30 bus. Rule 3. We use on plus my / your or on plus the / a to talk about a specific bike, bus, train, ship, or plane. We use in plus my / your or in plus the / a with a specific car, taxi, van, or lorry. Examples: we say on foot, walking, not by foot. Gary goes to school on foot. He walks to school. Rule number 4. At the beginning of a journey, we talk about getting in or into cars, taxis, lorries, and vans. At the end of a journey, we talk about getting out of them. When we talk about motorbikes, trains, buses, ships, boats, and planes, we used on, onto, and off. The examples: the passengers got into the car. He paid the driver and got out of the taxi. It was difficult for her to get on the bus. He jumped onto the train. I have to get off the bus at the next stop. We will be getting off the train in 10 minutes. Fill in the blanks with suitable prepositions. Did you come by car? He was angry with me for coming late. We congratulated him on his success. They don't know the cause of the accident. We were surprised at / by what he said. The remaining students can try and their own. Complex prepositions. Sometimes a preposition has more than one word, like in front of, next to, on top of, and so on. Prepositions with more than one word are called complex prepositions. Here are some complex prepositions with examples. Prepositions example: ahead of. The annual function had started ahead of time. As far as. I like to go running as far as I can along the river. According to. According to the timetable, we have storytelling in the last period. In addition to. Summit got a prize for recitation in addition to one for debate. By means of, they reached the other bank of the river by means of a boat. Close to, my grandmother's house is close to the mall. Far from, my parents are building a house far from the city. Due to, due to the sudden rains, the sports day has been postponed. Instead of, our sports teacher taught us chess instead of volleyball. In spite of, there was a large crowd for the match in spite of the rain. In order to, we need to practice in order to perform well in the annual day cultural program. In place of, the sports room has been given for the practice in place of the auditorium, which is being renovated. Fill in the blanks with suitable complex prepositions. We should start early in the morning in order to reach the Taj Mahal by 10 o'clock due to / in order to. In order to is the correct option here. The new gymnasium is not far from my house. I can reach there in 5 minutes. Due to very heavy rains, the school is flooded and the reopening is postponed to the next week. Student can try the remaining. Appropriate prepositions. Some nouns, verbs and adjectives are often followed by particular prepositions. Examples of suffer, from, popular with. It is useful to know which preposition to use after a particular word. You should note such combinations as you come across them in the course of your reading. Here are some of the most common combinations. Angry about it, something. Angry with somebody for doing something. Happy, pleased, delighted with /it /about something. Pleased with somebody. Surprised, amazed, shocked at /by something. Anxious about, worried about one's health. Anxious for, waiting for news. Popular with young people. Similar to something. Senior, junior, superior, inferior to somebody. Absent from school. She is married to an American, not married with. Good, bad, clever, brilliant, at crossroad. Crosswords. Used to talk about a person's ability. A reason for the delay. A cause of the delay. A need for something. An invitation to a party. A solution to a problem. Difficulty, trouble with something. Agree with a person or opinion. Agree about a subject of discussion. Agree on a matter of decision. We agree on a price for the car. Agree to / with a suggestion. Prefer tea to coffee. Start for a place, not start to a place. Suffer from an illness. Shout at a person when you are angry. Shout to a person so that he can hear you. Congratulate a person on his success. Translate something into another language. Operate on somebody for something. Example, cancer. Verbs and prepositions that go together. Absorbed in, account for, add to, adjust to, admit to, agree with, apply for, appeal to, argue with, argue about, arrange for, arrive in /it, apologize for, approve of, ask for, accuse somebody of something, arrest somebody for something, bash on, beg for, begin with, benefit from, believed in, belong to, boast about, borrow from, blame somebody for something, blame something on somebody, care for about, cater for, choose between, comment on, collide with. communicate with, compare with /to, compete with, complain about, compose of, concerned about /with, concentrate on, confess to, confuse with, congratulate on, consist of, contribute to, cough with, correspond with, count on, cover with, crash into, charge. Students can read this. Very interesting. There is some more. Forget about, operate on, forgive someone for something, participate in, pay for, persist in, guess at, get married to, get rid of, get tired of, prepare for, pray for. Continue reading. There's some more here. Search for, see to, shout at, smile at. Put a tick for the correct sentences and crossed for the incorrect ones. Minority groups are often discriminated at in our society. Cross. It should be discriminated against. Immigrants are required to register to the appropriate authorities. This again cross. It's wrong. Should be register with. Wars are often triggered by violent incident. Correct. Tick mark. It is often important for students to focus on tasks in groups. It's cross. Should be. It is sometimes important for students to focus tasks in groups. It should be without on, should be on omitted. Should be without on. Focus tasks in groups. The remaining students can try and they won't. Students should read all of this. This will definitely enrich their vocabulary. All of this. Subject to, share with, sentence to, saved from, suffer from, succeed in, substitute for, subscribe to, stem from, stare at, stand for, speak to, specialize in, smile at, shout at, see to, search for, suspect of, talk to, talk about, think of, think about, turn to, tell about, thank for, translate into, trust with, use for, vote for, wait for, wonder at, work on, worry about, write to, write about, warn about, warn against. Object to, mistake for, meet with, lend to, long for, listen to, laughed at, about, know about, joke about, involved in, invest in, interfere with / in, insure against, insist on, impressed on, upon, hinder from, help with, hope of / for, hide from, hear of, about, grumble about, get tired of, get rid of, get married to, guess at, forgive someone for something. Forget about, operate on, participate in, pay for, persist in, pray for, prepare for, prohibit from, praise for, present with, prevent from, provide with, provide for, punished for, quarrel about, quarrel with, react against, react to, recover from, refer to, rely on, reply to, resign from, respond to, result in, retire from, room for, remind of, rope off. deter from, despair of, depend on, dedicate to, decide on, against, cure of, convince of, convict of, charge for, charge with, crush into, cover with, count on, correspond with, covet with, contribute to, consist of, congratulate on, confuse with, confess to, concentrate on, concern about, concern with, compose of, complain about, compete with, compare to, communicate with, differ from, disagree with, disapprove of, discuss with, devote to, dream of, dream about, dress in, drink to, demand from, derive from, discourage from, distinguish from, between, distract from, elaborate on, emerge from, escape from, experiment on, excuse for, exchange for, exclude from, expel from, explain to, face with, feel like, feel about, fight against. All of these students have to learn it by heart. This will definitely enrich their vocabulary. Keep reading this and try the exercises.